Hi everyone, this is Dorit The Connector, and I'm so excited to have my special guest here, Velton Showell. Velton Showell is an author. He's an author of Prospecting, The Key to Your Future Success. He's a speaker and a radio host, and we're really thrilled to have him here. So, hi Velton.
Hello Dorit, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you. I wanted to first ask you a little bit about your background and just find out who you are and how you came to this point. So why don't you tell me and tell my audience exactly what started you on your path?
I'm originally from New Jersey, and I started my career, I won't say how many years ago, well, about 25 years ago in the hotel business. And I started as a management trainee, and with a burning passion and desire to move into sales. And sales was always something that I had a desire to do and a love for. Became a sales manager and worked in Baltimore, Maryland for about 5 years, and was promoted from there to open a major hotel in Washington, D.C. called the Grand Hyatt, and then moved out to California and subsequently Indianapolis, Omaha, Nebraska. Found my way to
hotel to hotel. Is that what you're saying?
Hotel to hotel assignment.
On the hotel path.
Yes.
Okay.
I ran a global sales office in Omaha, Nebraska for about 5 years, and then had an opportunity to move to South Florida to open a resort. So I opened a resort on Miami Beach and worked in South Florida in hotels for a few years, and an opportunity came knocking in the disguise of 2008, the market crashing and being downsized out of a position.
Right.
And
that happened to a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. It was a tough time.
Yeah, it was a tough time.
The book, Prospecting, The Key to Your Future Success, is part of that story, because the book was actually, the thought process was started in 1996. Okay. I wrote a workshop in 1996 based on a vice president calling me and saying to me, I need you to fly to Atlanta in 2 weeks and do a workshop for the salespeople down there. They're having difficulty in prospecting. Right. I said, oh, okay. I said, the question that I asked him is, do you have some kind of study guide or workbook or curriculum that you'd like me to enrich myself with or learn to go down there and do that? He said, nope, you'll think of something.
Yeah. You had a good reputation, and he knew the right person to call.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, I had 2 weeks to do it. I wrote the first workshop, and subsequently it went over so well, I was asked to fly around the country to other divisions within the company to present the same workshop. Okay,
and that's how your sales training career started?
That was the advent of my sales training career. And I was certified to train some of the other curriculum that they had purchased from other people. But this particular workshop was proprietary to me because I had written it. So subsequently, when I left the company, I was able to take it with me.
Okay.
And in 2008, when I was downsized out of that position, I had my workshop, a company that I had a vision or a dream about that I had started in 2004, but really hadn't done anything with. So a project that I started in 1996, which is that workshop, and a company that I started in 2004 came together. And my first workshop was called Prospecting, The Key to Your Future Success, that I was actually selling on the open market.
Now, what gave you the credibility to write a book like that?
Wow, credibility. I think...
Or the moxie. Every salesperson prospects. It's not anything new. I prospected for about 30 years.
Right? It's a necessity.
Yeah, it's a necessity, exactly, if you want your business to continue growing, for sure. Right. So what gave you the guts to say, I'm going to write a book and then I'm going to train people? Because I know there's challenges when you first start a business. There's challenges for most people. So what, for you, were those challenges, and how did you get through those hurdles?
Well, I guess I have to tell you, every salesperson has to have a desire to exceed. Success is only part of it. salespeople don't just settle for success, they settle for significance. They want to be significant.
Absolutely.
And part of what drove me was that desire to excel. I had led award-winning sales teams in my career, and I remember reading something that said, failure is temporary, giving up makes it permanent.
Oh, that's very good.
And if I had given up
Right.
when I was downsized out of this position, that was it. Story
Right.
over. But also I had a child in college, one on the way to college, a mortgage, and a life. So what do?
You keep on going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
You create new opportunities.
And I had new time. So that's what
Yeah.
happened with the book. Because of the additional time that I had, not only was I developing a company, but I had the time to pen a book. And people say to me, well, your book is a quick read. But I'm a salesperson. Okay? And any salesperson out there will tell you one of the issues with us is we have the attention span of a 4-year-old sometimes. So we don't want to read a 300-page novel for you to give us the knowledge and information and concepts that are necessary for us to be successful. So I made the book a concise overview of prospecting. And not just prospecting as everybody has dreamed about it over the years. Prospecting has really changed and evolved with the advent of technology. Prospecting is now
Right.
networking. And it's what Dorit does, connecting people, developing relationships with people and connecting them so that people
Right.
do business with their friends, people they feel comfortable with,
Right,
and
exactly.
people that they trust.
Right.
And as a salesperson, the one thing that we want to be more than anything else is to be revered by our customers as their trusted advisor.
And it's all a conversation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
the key these days. Because I remember when I first started as a stockbroker, it wasn't like that. And it was definitely sales. It was hardcore sales.
Oh, absolutely.
It was closing. It was getting them to do something that, that they didn't see. It was pushing them. I would just say it was pushing them
Well-
in the 80s, right?
Oh, gosh. Well, remember the 80s. Now, we're going to go back a ways when we talk about the 80s.
Might as well. I was there.
I remember the days where there was one computer in the entire office.
Oh,
And you fought for computer time.
yeah.
And I'm not sure that a lot of people in our audience remember that, but when you were on the computer as a salesperson, your director was standing behind you with their arms crossed going, you're not on the phone, you're on the computer, you're wasting time.
Exactly.
Nowadays, if a salesperson is not on the computer on their network, talking to their customers via professional or social media,
Right.
they're wasting time because everybody's in a world today of immediate gratification. Everybody wants it now or yesterday. So calling me on the phone and trying to have a conversation with me is much more difficult than sending me an email, sending me an instant message, because I not only have a computer on my desk, but I have a cell phone, I have an iPad, I have a tablet. So I can respond to you quicker that way than sitting at my desk talking to you over the phone.
Right. So, let's start with that then. First of all, why don't you give us the important elements of prospecting?
The most important element from prospecting at the beginning is developing a list. Developing a quality list of potential customers to have the ability to do business with you and buy your product. Once you've got the list, then you can begin to do your homework on these customers and understand their business, understand what their potential is, and what could potentially be their need.
So how do you go about getting a list? Where do you look?
Depending on your industry, a lot of industries have industry databases, and they give you an idea of companies that can have the potential of doing business with you. I came out of the hotel industry, so you had corporations and associations that were in different parts of the country that were in different industries based on their frequency of meetings and frequency of doing business outside of manufacturing their own product. You took an idea or you developed knowledge on their number of meetings a year, what the size is, and whether or not it fit into your facility. You do the same thing with other products. Here's my product, here's what I'm selling, what is their propensity to utilize it? If they have a strong propensity to utilize it, then I need to look inside of my network to see if there's anyone inside of my network that can make an introduction for me to people within that organization that may have the potential of doing business with me.
So when you say in your network, where is your network located? In social media?
Well, social media.
LinkedIn, Facebook?
Absolutely.
Twitter.
I am a very, very strong believer in LinkedIn. I have almost 1,500 people connected to me on LinkedIn. I have 3 Facebook pages. And what I do in my network is develop relationships with people that can do business with me or can do business with people within my network. Okay. I've got a story that happened to me yesterday based on someone in my LinkedIn network who I had wanted to call to do business with personally, sent me an email asking me to refer them to another person that they had noticed was in my network that they were trying to get to.
That's fantastic.
I called that person on the phone based on their email. We had a conversation. I sent an email to the other customer and 2 other people within the organization that I knew. That person also knew one of them, and we were able to make a connection, and they're on the road to hopefully getting that business.
All right, that's a great place to stop right now. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Ross Vandell, and you're watching WRPB ITV, and it rocks.
We're back with Velton Schowel, and we're speaking about prospecting. And so, Velton, after you've got your list, and you've kind of done the research you need to in networking, what's the next step?
Well, what you have now is a list that has gone through the initial phase of the qualification process, but there's a second phase to that.
Okay.
And that's really understanding the customer, what the customer does, and potentially what you can do for them. Because what you need to make sure is that even though this is a qualified list, that there is a perceived need or perceived value in your product. If I don't see value in what you're doing, I don't care how good of a product you may have, it's no good to me.
Right.
So you need to understand whether or not this customer has the propensity of doing business because they will find value in what you have.
So how do you find out that they have a need for your product? What's the
You
next
take a
step?
look at what they've purchased in the past. If it's
So you're talking to them on the phone? Is that
no,
what's
actually
happening?
you're doing some homework before you get on the phone.
This is still before you
Because
speak with
when you
them.
get on the phone with this person, the last thing you want to ask them is a question like, do you think you have an opportunity to work with me? You should know that there is an opportunity there. It's a question of when. It's like there's a saying that says, no doesn't mean no necessarily. It means not right now.
Right.
And you want to be able to have enough information and do enough homework to understand that no doesn't mean no because they don't find value. It just means that the timing may not be right. So that you can come back to them at a later juncture and revisit that conversation with them. The second part of it is you want to look at, if you can get access to it, is who are they currently doing business with?
How do you find that kind of access?
A lot of times it's on the internet. It's in their reports. It's in their annual report where they purchase.
Okay.
Talking to somebody in the purchasing department.
So you're saying you call the purchasing department of a corporation?
You can call the purchasing department of a corporation and ask them, based on your product,
Right.
who do you currently purchase this product from? Or do you purchase this
Okay.
product? Do you utilize this product? You're not going to the end user necessarily, but you're just doing some homework and research. Because when you talk to the person that actually has the ability to make that decision, you want to be confident that they already have a need for your product.
Absolutely. That's great advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you identify the fact that they're doing business with your competitor, that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why?
Well, you know that they're doing business, they're buying products.
They're already paying the money for
You can even
service
call
like
your
that.
competitor and say, hey, I was taking a look and I understand you do business with XYZ Corporation. How's it going? Now, they may hang up on you or they may start talking. And if they're another salesperson, you know we love to talk. So they may start saying, well, you know, we had a great year with them last year. We're looking to a great year next year. And they're telling us they're going to buy more than they bought from us last year. Radar just went off. The potential that I see here, or I thought I saw, is even bigger than the potential that it was.
How so?
Because my competitor just told me that they're doing great business with them this year, and they're looking forward to a better year next year. So why should I allow them to take advantage of all of that business? Because they're very happy with what they're getting right now. Why don't I get the increase for me for next year?
Okay, that sounds good. I always like that kind of attitude. Definitely go after it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
And there's a lot of tricks to it.
Now, can I ask you, because we're talking really about corporations here that you're prospecting, can we take it down a notch to entrepreneurs and how your system works when it's one business owner to another business owner?
Okay. Well, depending on your area of expertise, and I can use myself as a for instance. Okay, I train sales professionals. I work with customer service representatives, and I do leadership development training. Okay, some people call me a motivational speaker. I don't believe in that. I call myself an inspirational speaker because to me, motivation comes from within. I cannot motivate you.
Right.
I can inspire you to find your own motivation.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But you have to have a burning passion and desire inside of you.
Right.
So how do I find my customers? How do I find who is willing to work with me? And some people will say, well, as a trainer, you go to the industry that you came out of and you start to talk because that's what you know. Yes, that's very true, but that is a finite market. I want to expand outside of that. So what do? I start to talk to people within my network. They may not be people who can do business with me.
Right.
But they may know someone who knows someone who knows someone. And I'll give you, for instance, as I said, I'm a trainer and I'm an inspirational speaker. I speak many times and people look at me like I'm crazy for free. And they'll say, you what? You're speaking for free again? Yes. Why? Well, I don't know. Even though I'm standing in front of 50 or 100 people speaking to them and I'm not getting paid today, who is sitting in that audience listening to what I have to say, who may like what I have to say,
Right.
who next week, next month, next year is willing to write a check? So what am I doing in essence? It's another form of prospecting. I'm throwing out my net and I'm anticipating something coming home. And a lot of times when you're an entrepreneur and you're just starting out, you have to put in the sweat equity to build your network.
Yes.
Okay. Vince Lombardi said, the difference between successful people and others is not a lack of knowledge. It's not a lack of skill. It's a lack of will. And as an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to go the extra mile and do what other people won't.
So what other things do you recommend that entrepreneurs do to get the word out and to prospect?
Well, we touched on LinkedIn.
Right.
We touched on Facebook. And a lot of people are on LinkedIn and Facebook. LinkedIn, you see a lot more professional communication. People they join groups that are affiliated with either their interests or their industry or their business, and they are intricately involved in the discussions within those groups.
So you recommend going out to the groups? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
You need to touch people. You need to talk to people either electronically, and hopefully once you've qualified that person, then you can spend the time to talk to them telephonically, or you can even meet them face to face. The second thing is developing, everybody talks about Facebook being social, more so for a non-business oriented audience, but that's not necessarily true.
I agree.
I spend a lot of time on Facebook, and a lot of the things that I'm communicating on Facebook are directly tied to what I do every day. The messages that I send to people on Facebook are directly a result of what I do today, because I want them to understand what my message is. I have 3 Facebook pages. I have a personal page, I have a group page, and I have a fan page. And I am constantly communicating with the people in my network. And there are also groups and subcategories within Facebook that I deliver my message to. I communicate to your audience quite a bit, because we met a few weeks ago, and we met through another business associate friend.
From Nancy Matthews and Women's Prosperity Network.
I was interviewed on her radio show.
On the Wow Wednesday call. Velton was on the Wow Wednesday call. And immediately when I heard him, I approached him.
And I'm very, very excited about being here.
Yes.
But again, until that point, I've known Nancy for 6 months. And Nancy and I have communicated. We've developed a friendship. We've developed a business association relationship. And out of that, I was introduced to Dorit. I've been introduced to other people. I've introduced Nancy to other people. And she's become a part of my business network. But I was introduced to her by a friend.
Great. Very good. So you also, do you do any networking in person?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So what kind of groups can you recommend to our audience? I know you said industry related, but are there other groups other than industry related that you would also join, or at least go network in?
Well, I'm a member of a lot of different organizations. The National Sales Network I'm affiliated with, which is an organization that is for salespeople. The Women's Prosperity Network, which Nancy runs.
You're going to be speaking at her Unconference in October. So for anyone that's interested in seeing more of Velton, he will be at the Women's Prosperity Unconference October 8th, and you're welcome to message me, and I can tell you all about it. So you can send that to dorittheconnector@gmail.com. And also, Velton's going to be speaking at my Bridge Builder event next Thursday, and people will be able to come out and see him in Boca Raton. And that you can contact me on Facebook at Dorit The Connector, or again, email me about it, and I'll be happy to give you all the details. But I know our audience will be very enthused about meeting you in person and hearing more of your advice. So we only have a few minutes left. I know it's hard to believe, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing.
So Velton, what do you want to leave people with as far as let's start with what's the best advice you could leave an entrepreneur with as far as prospecting goes?
I think the best advice I can leave an entrepreneur with is only you have the key to unlock your dreams. No one else can do it for you. And we were all born with different gifts, and we can turn those gifts into passion. And passion becomes our legacy. One of the things I often think about, a lot of people say when you're starting as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of pressure. Well, think of this. Think of yourself as a lump of coal. And a lump of coal is just that. It can give off heat. However, through pressure and stress, a lump of coal can be molded into one of the most beautiful gems in the world. And the most valuable pieces that everyone seeks, and that's a diamond. Take the time, put in the work, use the stress and pressure, and mold your diamond into your beautiful gem.
That is beautiful, and it's so true. Why don't you give my audience the contact information, your website, your everything. Go ahead.
Sure, you can reach me at www.velton, VELTON, SHOWELL.com. You can follow me on Facebook at Strategic Solutions LLC, is my fan page, or my name, Velton Showell, which is my personal page. You can also reach me on LinkedIn at Velton Showell, and I have a profile page and a Strategic Solutions corporate page also.
Great, Velton. And I just want to say I'm really excited for you to come out and meet some of my friends at Red, the steakhouse in Boca Raton.
I'm excited also.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
You're
it was
very,
great
very welcome.
interviewing
My
you
pleasure.
today. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Bye.
Everyone has an inner Mustang. Unleash yours. The new 2013 Mustang.
It starts as a day, like any other. Just a Saturday. Until we start connecting. Over 100 million of us. To turn this day into a movement. Where the small shop across the street gets big support across the nation. A day where communities prosper and main streets start booming. Because when we all come together,
That's the power of all of us.
That's the power of all of us.
Power of all of us.
amazing things happen.
Wow, what was I thinking? This hurts. Oh no, girls. Keep it cool, eye contact. They see me. They see me. Ow, 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 ow.
What? You get a mommy tattoo.
Ow, ow, ow. Am I crying? I'm not crying. Am I crying?
Sweating on the inside? Handle it on the outside with new Speed Stick Power.
I love her so much.
Aww.
Speed Stick, don't sweat it, handle it.